So today I'm going to do my first video and explore a little bit what I've learned in Xcode. Now I'm relatively new to making programs and applications, but I think I can make some videos that might be insightful to some of you. There are many tutorial videos based on the basics of Swift, and I hope that I can show you some examples of how I have fun with Swift. It's not so much a tutorial, but just how I have fun. This is a small playground where we are creating a warrior. And because I've been watching the Netflix series Vikings, I've been inspired to include the Shield Maiden in the possible warrior types. Now, for some reason, this is taking a significant amount of time. I don't know why. There we go. So here we have the description that is printed right here. So let's go backwards through this. So it's printing myplayer.description. It says, I am Shield Maiden, I have shield. Here's that description inside of the warrior enumeration here. The description is a computed property inside of a string. It returns the string I am plus the raw value of self. Now, self is this, in this case, the enumeration self, and it's actually getting one of these. And because I have set my player to be of type Shield Maiden, that's what self is. Self is Shield Maiden. So the raw value of each of these, if they are not equal to a string, is going to be just the words here. However, if they're equal to a string, then that will be the raw value. And as we see here, I am self.raw value, I am Shield Maiden. And then we have a ternary operator here that checks to see whether has shield is true or false. And if it's true, then it returns I have shield. And if it's false, it returns I don't have shield. So where does this come from? This value has shield. It comes from this computed property inside of the warrior enum called has shield. It's a Boolean. It's requesting a Boolean, essentially. So every time we call it, it pulls this switch, it goes through the switch statement. and it switches on self. And again, self for this type enum warrior is going to be whatever I have told it to be. In this case, it's the value of shield maiden. So switch on self, and so if self is shield maiden, return true. Let's add another one. If self is archer, oh, let's put it in alphabetical order. Then return false, because in my mind, archers don't have shields. So, because we're a shield maiden, this returns true, and because it returns true, it prints I have a shield. It prints I have a shield. Here we see in the description, the printed description, I have shield. Great. So I'd like to see if there are any more cases where they might have a shield. Let's say that a swordsman also has a shield. Now this is alphabetically after shield maiden. And we'll also return true. All right. So we can fill this enumeration up with as many computed properties as we'd like. So let's add another one. Let's say that this one is, it's called sex. And it's going to be a new enumeration called sex. And let's make that up here. We have two cases, female, oops, male. Yes, it's alphabetical. So let's switch again on self. And we see here that self is of type warrior. That is the type, that is the name of this enum that we're in. So if we are a shield maiden, we return dot female. And we're returning, it knows that we want to return a sex because that's what we've asked to return. And then if you're anything else, you're going to return male, just for now. Of course, you could have female archers, but let's just stick to the Viking lore. So shield maidens, female, everything else, male. And then you could add to this by saying I am a, and then we need to do this. I don't know the name for this interpolation, maybe, but then we put the ternary operator in there. So it's a sex equals dot female. We say I am a woman, else I am a man, period. Oops. Okay. So because our player is of type shield maiden, we should see I am a woman. Correct. Okay, we have these spaces over here. That's simply due to this. If we run it again, then we'll see. Good. I am. So we need to take I am a woman. Oops, I am man. All right. I'm a woman. Perfect. Shield has 2 periods here. Let's take that out. Actually, let's put that back. And put that there. And for some reason, it wants to put us over here each time. So we'll just make that standard. I'm a shield maiden. I have a shield. I'm a woman. Great. Okay. Well. Here we have the weapon computed property that we have not yet utilized in the description. So we can say I carry, and then here we can just say weapon, period. I carry axe. Great. Because we're a shield maiden, let's just assume that it's an axe, but it could be a sword. So let's do something fun here. Let's say that we're going to return a random weapon. So we're going to get a Boolean, and we're going to get a random one. And if it is true, then we're going to return an axe, and if it is false, then we're going to turn a sword. So every time we call it, this might not be the best thing because if we have one player, each time we call it, it might be a different weapon. But I have I carry sword. Very good. Again, I carry axe. Okay, because each time it's calling weapon, it's getting a random Boolean, and if that random Boolean happens to be true, then it's going to be an axe that we carry, and if it happens to be false, then it's going to be a sword that we carry. Great. We could say var is or has arrows, and we're going to return a Boolean. And actually what we can do is we can return a Boolean and an int, which would be kind of cool. So if it's true, then we're going to see how many arrows this person is carrying. And if it's false, then of course that will be 0. So we're going to switch again. And self, we're going to switch on self, which is warrior. And the first thing we're going to do is say for archer, then we're going to return true and get a random number of arrows from 1 to, how many arrows can you fit in a quiver? 30. And as for default, we're going to say false and 0. So we're going to say has arrows, and the 0th element is the Boolean. But let's just say, let's make this clearer by saying has arrows, we could say has arrows. Well, I can't think of anything. We could just say has arrows again. It's kind of funny to do because it's the same name as the Boolean, or as the computer property. But then we can say number, or we can say amount. Amount. So now we can say has arrows. It's redundant, but it works. If the character has arrows, then we're going to say I have, and then here we're also going to put in the has arrows dot amount. And if you don't have arrows, then you're going to say, or I can say, I do not have arrows. And we can see that the colors have locked in, and I'm a shield maiden, and if we run it, it's going to say, I do not have arrows. But just for fun, let's change this to archer. And let's run it. I'm an archer, I don't have shield, I am a man, I carry bow, I have 27 arrows. Period. Just to be sure, running it again, I have 21 arrows. Of course, because each time I call it, it's random. This could be good for when you are creating an initial character or spawning a figure in. But it's not necessarily so good because each time I call, I check whether I have arrows. I'm generating a new number. It could be helpful, but let's say that I'm shooting arrows throughout the battle, and I check to see how many arrows I have, and I have all of a sudden more arrows than I did a few minutes before. Well, you can be creative here and say that you're collecting arrows along the way during the battle. You're shooting arrows, but also collecting them. So it is possible that you have more than you did a couple minutes ago. But as for now, I'm going to leave it like this, and let's just go through and let's see. If you're a farmer, I'm a farmer. I do not have shield. I'm a man. I carry hands. That's the weapon for a farmer. I do not have arrows. Farmers, I think, can be male or female. So let's say case.farmer, and let's return. And let's do the same thing. Boolean.random. And we'll say male, female, male. There we go. Yep. Okay. So the farmer in this case is a man again. Farmer is a man again. this time the farmer is a woman. All right. Good. So all of this is within an enum. Enums are extremely powerful in Swift. We can have functions in here as well. The only thing I think that we can't have is a computed property, or a stored property, excuse me. So let's just say like, age, and let's just say 30. This should cause an error because enums must not contain stored properties. Right. So that's why we have these computed properties. So let's make this quickly into a computed property. And it's going to return well, in Swift 5.1, you don't need the return statement if you only have one line. And we'll only have one line because we're going to get a random int. And since we're warriors, we should be of fighting age. I don't know what that is, but I think in our world today, that's about 18. Back in the day, I couldn't tell you what age one would begin to fight with, probably much younger. But all the way up to 60, I think, right? I mean, 65. That's retirement age. And now we can say I am a farmer who is age old. Now if we run that again, I'm a farmer who is 26 years old. A lovely random number. And I don't have shield. Let's just go ahead and say I don't have a shield. I have a shield. I am a woman. I carry my hands for weapons. Carry my hands for a weapon, because it's an axe for a weapon, a bow for a weapon. I do not have arrows. Good. Now we see I'm a farmer who is 40 years old. I don't have a shield. I'm a man. I carry my hands for a weapon. I don't have arrows. All right. So this is one enum with two other helper enums. It is possible to put these inside of the warrior enum. Like this. And everything should work just fine. So enums inside enums. Lovely. So the next thing I'm going to do is open my recent warrior chooser. And I've already began a little bit. Here we go. So we're going to take this functionality and put it into a little SwiftUI app. Here we have the basics for it. And I'll make some adjustments. So the first adjustment is I'd like these guides to be changed, to be full screen. So I'm just going to start typing ignore edges ignoring safe area. Then I can select the edges that I want to ignore, and technically all of them, but actually really it's just the vertical ones, because there's the safe edges over here are doing just fine. Oops, I put that modifier on the wrong view. Let's put it on the V stack, or the Z stack, excuse me. There we go. It could have also be, I think it could have also have been placed here on the linear gradient. Right, so that the linear gradient goes beyond the safe area insets, but the other views like the VStack and the text are all nice and safe within the area, the safe area. So let's change this to white real quick. That's the text color. Warrior chooser. Let's add some rounded edges. There we go. It's all right. I'm not happy with the font, so let's do system font and let's go for size 30, and let's look for like light, and then I'm a fan of the monospaced. Just a nice digital font. All right. Kind of looks like a button, doesn't it? So I'm actually going to get rid of the background. Just leave it like that. And I'm going to say semi-bold. There we go. Yeah. Now this can be black, I think. Warrior chooser. That's all right. Okay. What we need to do now is make a new Swift file called Warrior. Yes. Make sure it's in this root directory folder. And essentially going to copy this warrior enum right over to okay. So going back to content view, what we need to do is we'll need to sort through the warriors and have a picker to pick the warrior. All right, so we're going to put a picker in here. And we'll have a selection there that needs to be a binding. We'll have a label and some content. Label, let's see, binding. Oops. So what we need here is a state variable. That's the selection. And let's go ahead and make it of type warrior for now. And so we'll put self dot selection in there. Okay. Put a text field in here. Choose warrior type. And then the content is what's wrong here? Okay, I'm going to start over here. Take the picker here. There we go. So I'm actually going to, let's see here, picker selection. It's going to be self dot selection. Let's say, okay, choose warrior and text. Let's just see what it does here. Probably won't work. Failed. Let's change this selection to an int. Oh wait, actually warrior equals dot archer here. Okay. Succeeded. Not too sure how. Choose warrior. It's 1 and 2. Okay. So we will most likely make a list here if it's possible. Do for each, and the data that we'll have is the warrior, and I want to iterate through here, so I need to go back to the warrior and make this case iterable. So I can iterate through all cases. And let's just try self. And then we'll have to say warrior. And we'll say text warrior dot raw value. See if that works. Nope. Okay, let's just try warrior. Nope. Tag. Okay. A little bit more complicated than I remembered. So I'm gonna go to Safari. Hacking with Swift. That's the go-to place. And we'll say picker. SwiftUI picker. Here we go. Okay, text self colors. Okay, all right. So let's go back there and say for each, and colors.count. Okay, so we'll do for each. Warrior dot all cases dot count, and I believe it's going to be like that. Maybe not. Something's changed, perhaps. Dot count. Okay, so it's going to be 0 to less than that. Count. That looks all right. And then we'll need text. So self.colors. Oh, that's that. Okay. I'm going to do warrior dot all cases, and then that right there. Maybe we can do raw value like that as well. That looks good. Succeeded. There we go. Nice. Choose warrior. Let's run it. On the simulator. Warrior chooser, choose warrior. Here we can go. Here we go. So we can sort through here and choose our warrior. Awesome. Okay, and we'll need a button that says make selection. All right, and then right now we're just going to print the selection dot description, and the selection dot description. What we need is self. The selection is of type warrior, and the warrior has the description computer property. So it should print that for us. So let's just test it real quick. All right, I do like the shield maiden. Make selection. Here we go. It does. All right, so instead of printing that, let's put that into a property. State private var selection description is of type string, and as for now it's empty. And what we'll do is we'll say self dot selection description equals, we don't need that. Okay. And then we'll have an if statement here. If self dot selection description is empty, okay, it's not empty, then we're gonna show the text. That's the selection description. And let's just put self in there for now, although it's actually not needed, I believe, because it's not inside of a closure. Cool. So let's test that here. For your chooser, let's do shield maiden again. Make selection. I am Archer, who is 53 years old. I don't have a shield. I'm a man. Okay, it's not the selection I chose. So when we say make selection, what we need to do here is we actually need to say I'm a bit confused, actually. Let's just go ahead and say, well, actually, let's go back here. Selected color is 0. Okay. So let's make some adjustments here. Let's say that the selection is int of 0 and you selected colors, select color, okay. Okay. I don't think this. go. Good. Selections 2. I'm going to change selection back to type. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's say, what is this, tag? What does that do? Let me say warrior, and it's going to be archer, and let's actually, let's go back here, do that. And we're actually going to say warrior dot all cases and selection just like that. Cases. Oops. Self dot selection dot description. Okay, let's give that another go. There we go. Chose shield maiden. I'm a shield maiden who's 43 years old. I have a shield. I'm a woman. I carry my sword for a weapon. I do not have arrows. Let's do a farmer. I'm a farmer who's 20 years old. I don't have a shield. I am a man. I carry my hands for a weapon. I do not have arrows. Alright, that looks pretty good. Slow because it's on the simulator. I am archer who is 54 years old. I don't have a shield. I'm a man. I carry my bow for a weapon. I have 16 arrows. Alright. I'd like to hide this. So I'm going to stop that. And I believe I can say hide labels hidden. I believe that works. Let's resume. There we go. The label's hidden. That looks better. What else can we do? Well, I'm going to apply an animation to this, so when it appears, it looks better. We'll say animation dot fade ease in out. There we go. And also, we're gonna have padding around the whole thing. Let's just choose archer. There we go. A little bit more padding here. Let's change it again. Okay, there's a little bit of an animation there, kind of. Let's take the animation out just to see what the difference is. All right, so it just pops in there. All right, no animation on that. But perhaps we could do this. No. I've seen something like that before, though. So, as for now, that's it. See you next time.